from yesterday, we are just continuing a little more with our trig ratios. Remember, we had SOHCAHTOA to help us remember which sine, cosine, or tangent function we can write. And so today we're going to do the same thing. I just want to do these 2 word problems, and then you guys have a delta math and test corrections to do. Those are due today, so get those test corrections done. All right, it says, Jake leaned a 12-foot ladder against his house. So again, I'm just going to draw a little house here. There's our little house. We got some smoke coming out the chimney. Okay. A little front door. Okay. So there's our little house, and Jake has his ladder. It's a 12-foot long ladder. So again, he's leaning it up against the house, and that ladder is 12 feet long, okay? The angle formed by the ladder and the ground. So here's the ground. The angle they're talking about is right here. The angle between the ladder and the ground. It says is 68 degrees. So I just want to redraw this triangle a little bigger here. I have a 12-foot ladder. I have the ground. And this angle is 68 degrees, and then I have it leaning up against our house here, which hopefully is perpendicular to the ground there. So there should be a right angle there. There we go. All right, so we have this information, and then it wants to know how far from the base of the house did he place the ladder. So how far from the base of the house? If my house is over here, we want to figure out this base distance here along the ground. It's important when we have word problems that you read very, very carefully. All right, I have my important angle here. This angle is 68 degrees. And it says I have the hypotenuse of 12 because that's opposite my right angle. What's the x side that we can give it a label? What? Adjacent. Yep, that would be the adjacent to the 68 degrees. If we have adjacent and hypotenuse, which, cosine right here, adjacent and hypotenuse. So we're going to set up a cosine ratio. So cosine of our 68 degree angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse is going to be x over 12. Beautiful. So there's our setup, and then how do we solve? Cross multiply. All right, so we have 1 times x is x, and 12 times the cosine of 68 is 12 times the cosine of 68. We just write it out, and now that x is all alone, we can use our calculator. What mode should you be in? Degree mode. Please check what mode you're in. I am no longer in degree mode because the real world doesn't use degrees. If you go to mode, push the mode button where it says mode right here. So you want to make sure that your degrees are highlighted there. All right, so 12 times the cosine of 68 should give you 4 point... We're going to round to the 10th place probably, so 4.5 will do. Okay? Okay. Number 13. A ramp is used to load suitcases on an airplane. Well, you can imagine that, I would assume, that there's this ramp, that's loading up suitcases onto the airplane. If the cargo door is 7 feet from the ground, so what we have here is this door 7 feet up that we are loading those suitcases on up into the airplane. And the angle formed by the end of the ramp and the ground is 25. So again, reading very carefully, the angle between the ramp and the ground, so right here, is 25 degrees. How long is the ramp? Do they want to know this number, the length along the ground? No, they want to know this hypotenuse, the length of the ramp. So again, reading very carefully. Now we have our angle here, and I know that this is the hypotenuse, and the 7 would be then opposite our 25-degree angle. So that would be the opposite side label we can give it. Which trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine uses opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to set up a sine function here. Sine of 25 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. What should I write? 7 over x. All right, 7 over x. How do we solve? Put a 1 under it. And then how do you solve? Cross, not sin, it's not a sin, it's sine. You missed that lecture yesterday. All right, we are going to cross multiply. X times the sine of 25 is x times the sine of 25 degrees. And 1 times 7 is 7. How do you get x by itself? Sine, thank you for correcting yourself. Sine of 25. Divide by the sine of 25 to get rid of it. All right. So get x equals 16.6. I'm going to type it in just so we can all see here. 7, you can't see, 7 divided by the sine of 25, 16.6 feet long for that ramp. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, you have a work day sort of today. There's a homework assignment, just like yesterday's. Actually a little bit better than yesterday's. And then also test corrections are due today. So if you need to get those finished, please work on those as well. All right.